Welcome. Let us start our session. Thank you for joining. Yesterday, we have started with the mapping level properties and session level properties. We will continue with the session level properties. For an example, if I'm going to the session for a particular session, so here, this is what the properties we have seen. So what is this property? What is right backward compatible session log? So all this we have seen. So now I will go to the config object. So what is this constraint based load ordering, right? So constraint based load ordering is nothing but, so yesterday we have seen target load plan. So target load plan is nothing but if I have more than one pipeline, so which one should be running first, right? That's what the target load plan. If you enable the constraint based load ordering, so Informatica itself will take, if even this is some different order, if I have one single pipeline, not a different pipeline, one single pipeline, if you have multiple tables to be loaded by using some router we have, and then we are routing it, we are loading multiple tables, but we have to, it has some constraints. Okay, primary key, foreign key constraints, which table should be loaded first. So for that, we have to enable constraint based load ordering. Okay, if you are enabling it, if you have employees table, departments table, locations table, we know already that how the constraints will be. Locations table should be loaded first, then departments table, then employees table, based on the primary key, foreign key relationship. So this is what constraint based load ordering. And the lookup cache, so it will lookup cache will be created. So default buffer size, these are all the buffer size and everything. We are not going to touch anything, so we can make it like auto only. Then we have the log options. So whenever so by default, the session log for these runs 0. So only one run, it will store the data. But if I want to go for more than one run, I want to have the session log, then make something like this 5 or, so normally we used to give our real-time environment 5. So 5 is nothing but last 5 session logs, it will be available. Okay, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be available. So if you're making 0, right, what will happen? So every time it will get over, it will overwrite the 5. So you'll not, say for an example, yesterday the session got succeeded and today it got failed. You want to see the success session log, then you cannot able to see if it is 0. So that is what we are making 5. So if you make the 5 as 5, right? So look at here, I'm just to running this. You can see the session log now 5 times it will create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. C drive Informatica 10.2.0 server, then info shared. Here you can go for session log files. So it will create with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. So you can see here it will create. We will wait for some time. It will create the file. Still it's running. It's not connected. Still it is running. It got completed. Now you can see log.0, right? Okay, 0. It's 837. 0. Okay. So now again I'm going to run. It will not overwrite this file. It will not overwrite the file. This is 837 only. Log.1 it will create. So like this, it will create 5 different session log. It will not overwrite any logs. Here it was overwriting, right? Yesterday we were seeing, but today it will not overwrite. Why? Because here we have given these many runs. If you look at here, once it got completed, you'll be seeing this file. Okay, see here, log.1, right? So we'll be having the previous logs so that you can make use of that file logs. So this is what the session log, these many runs. Okay, So normally we'll give 5 here, our real-time environment. These are all session log only. Then stop on errors, override tracing is nothing but the amount of information in the session log. Okay, tracing level in the session. So normally it will be there like a normal. You can go for ters. Ters is less than normal. Verbose initialization, or the initialization details will be there. Verbose data level will be captured in the session log. If you are using verbose data, right? If the session log is verbose data override tracing, then look at here in the session log. So it will create very big file. It will capture all the data in the file, the session log file. In the production, if you want to see how the data is flowing from each transformations, then you can go for the override tracing. So this is the one, you can enable it. You can see here, it will enable, you can see. So this is 17 KB file, right? Now you'll be having a big file. Still running. See here, 186 KB, right? So if you go and check this file, session log. So session will have all the data also. See, all the data also will be captured. So here all the detailed logs will be captured here. You can see that how the data is flowing. So this is reader, right? So this is reader thread. So next one, this is writer thread. Okay, writer also how the data is flowing. So everything you can able to see here, reader and writer. So all the data, if you want to see all the data, here you have to go with the below. So below you have to go with all the data. So here it will capture all the data. Even if you have millions of data, it will capture. The log will become very bulky. Okay. So don't enable. Normally, if you want to backtrack it for troubleshooting purpose, you can enable it. Otherwise, don't enable. Okay. So this is what the tracing level. Then you'll be having all the options like stop on errors and everything. That's what the options we have in our properties. And if you go to the mapping, already the source and target connections, and here we'll be having the connection information, the properties, memory properties, then files, parameter file, Java class path, everything will be there. This is for session level. If you want to go for workflow level, then you have to go with workflow, edit here. Then you have to find here. So what is integration service? Then go to properties. Here you can find the workflow level parameter file. So workflow level write backward compatible workflow log file. So these are all the informations, right? So you can able to see here all the scheduler and then variables, events, everything. Okay, if you double click here, we know components. We have already seen this pre-session command is nothing but you can give any command task, either reusable, non-reusable. This command will be executed before the session start reading the data. Okay, before start reading the data, this command will be executed. Post session success command is nothing but after the session got completed, succeeded, then this command will be executed. This command will be executed. Post session failure command. If the session got failed, then this whatever the command here we are going to give, so that command will be executed. On success email, normally on success email we will not give. So we'll go for on failure email only. Okay, we'll go for on failure email only. So most of the session we'll be having on failure email. Then you'll be having pre-session variable assignment, post-session success variable assignment, something variable you want to initialize it, you can do it here. So this is what the properties of session. Okay, session level properties. Okay, so everything we have done. We assume that everything we have done in our development environment, everything we have done. So this is what the deployment process. Okay, this is what the deployment process. So what is deployment process? So you have done with your all the mapping you have created, session you have created, workflow you have created. So now in our real time, we might be having a different environment. Okay, what is that environment? So here we'll be having a development environment, dev environment. You assume that this is what our development. As a developer, we will develop the code. Then the code should be moved to the other environment called testing environment. Okay, test environment, QA. Okay, then it should be moved to other environment called UAT, user acceptance testing. Then only it will be moved to the production. Okay, it will be moved to the prod environment, production environment. Okay, so first one is called development environment. Okay, dev. So normally we'll call it as dev environment. Okay, as a developer, we'll have read and write access for this development environment. Again, the same setup will be there for QA. Okay, so all the source, target, Informatica repository, everything separately will be there for QA. Again, the same setup will be there in UAT, but in UAT, it's a user acceptance testing. Okay, so user acceptance testing. Who will do this? So normally our client will do that. User acceptance testing. So that's what normally our client will do that. Okay, before accepting the any requirement in the production, they will do one round of testing. They will do in terms of business level. Okay, business use cases, they will test it. So this is what the production database. Okay, production environment. So like database, server, everything will be separate. So here also separate. In real time, dev and QA might be on the same server. Different domain might be having at the same server. Okay, so this is what. So once we have developed our Informatica, so what is that Informatica will do? So Informatica will be having, what is the file we will be having? For Informatica, you have to have .xml file. Okay, for database, okay, database script, you need to have .sql file. You are creating the table in target or you are altering the table, that SQL file should be there. Okay, .sql file. Then you need to have the Unix. If any command files are there as a script, you need to have .sh file, and they will be having some scheduler like this. You'll be having scheduler, some different scheduler will be there. If it is Informatica scheduler, all this. See, all the, this is what the deployment artifact. Okay, deployment artifact you have to take care. So whichever is applicable for that particular time, for the particular scenario, you have to take, and you have to create one build here. I will tell you what is that build and all. So you are creating a build, and then that build should be, so build means just you are keeping all this into one folder. Then you are telling that server, the deployment tool, that okay, you deploy this into a QA server. QA is nothing but quality assurance, or the quality analysis. Okay, is a testing. They will do the testing team. So as a developer like this, we have the testing team, separate testing team will be there. So you have to tell in the interview, if you are going for any interview, they will ask this question only. So once you have completed your development, okay, all the component you have to build, you have to create a build. So that build you have to deploy it into the QA environment. QA, okay, quality assurance. So tester will deploy into a repository, and then all the component they will execute it in their environment. Then they are going to start Informatica workflow. Okay, and as per our business use cases, it should read the data from source and write the data into target. Okay, the target table which we have created, everything they will test it, whether everything is running fine or not. If it is not running fine as per the business use cases, then they will be raising a defect to us. Okay, defect will be raised. Say for an example, some use cases is not working fine, they will raise a defect, right? So they will be raising a defect. They will raise a defect, some particular tool. They will assign it to our development team. So development team will look at the defect. So what is the defect? Okay, this use cases I haven't seen that. So something like uppercase, lowercase we are getting, or length we are getting, or this logic is something changes, then it will not, the code will not work. Yes, testing team, they have identified it. Testing team will always identify a lot of faults. Okay, so as a developer, we have to accept it. If it is really a defect, then we have to do again the changes in the respective component, either in Informatica or database or Unix or scheduler. You have to do the changes, and again you have to create a XML export, all the file you have to export it. Again you have to create a build. Again you have to deploy into a QA. Then they will test it. This cycle will be cycled, like up to the sign off, up to their quality assurance team giving the sign off. It will be going for the endless process. Okay, once they are giving, then the code will be moving to the UAT. So UAT is nothing but user acceptance testing. So user is nothing but our customer. The customer, before accepting, they will deploy the code in this particular environment. This particular environment are synced. Data will be a different data, but the volume and everything will be same. Okay, like this. So you will not have same data, different data only, but the volume and same like data. If any code, if it is running fine in UAT or something SIT, they will call it as SIT, right? System integration testing, that particular SIT environment. So you may have SIT also. Okay, it depends on the project. These environments are depends on the project. You can tell them. Okay, then UAT, then it will be moved to the production environment, prod. Okay, you have to deploy into a production. If they are giving the sign off, it will be moved to the prod. Okay, once sign off, this will be moved to the production. So production, you have to do the dry run. So dry run means first time you are running that, you are checking. Then it will go off. Then we have to check whether it has been loaded the data correctly or not. If it is running correctly, then you have to ask the production support team to schedule it. It will be scheduled to run from tomorrow, from next run. Okay, so what is that? So this is what you'll be having the deployment. Clear on this? Any doubt here? If they are asking in interview, you can explain them. This is what the environment we do have in our project. So I'll be taking the artifact of Informatica, database script, and Unix and scheduler, everything, then creating a build and then moving the code to other environments. Any doubt?
Chandra, the database side, you have given us .sql file, right? So how does that, what will be?
See, like this, say for example, you'll be having you are creating one table in target. Okay, so you'll be having create table script, right? Create table, something like dim underscore customer. You remember we have created some table in target, right? This table will not be there initial stage. Right? Customer ID, it's a number data type, it's a primary key. Okay, just we are creating one table like this. Then customer name is the varchar2 of some 40, 50 or something. So like this, you'll be creating the table, right?
Customer, so you'll be giving the queries to the database team to create the same in the next environment.
It is not manual process. Okay, you are not going to give them. So you have to create a build. Okay, it's now we have something like a DevOps team. DevOps tool will be there, right? See, this is .SQL file. You assume that. So this is the .SQL file. Okay, .SQL file. Okay, for an example, this is for deployment. I'm going for. So it will be slightly changed in during each and every project. They will give you the overall idea. Okay. For an example, dim underscore cust .SQL file. Okay, .SQL file. Save this file. It will be saved as .SQL. It is not saved .SQL. We will check.
So only if it is in the cloud environment, it will go through a deployment. I mean, the process that you are explaining, right?
Yes.
If it is not in the cloud environment, then it
not
will
in cloud. Your desktop only you are doing it. So you in your machine you are doing it. You have to deploy into a server. That's all.
No, my question is, if it is in the cloud environment, then it will be like the.
So which one you are saying cloud environment? What is the cloud?
If you have your Informatica setup servers as the cloud.
So always it will be there in the cloud only. Server will be there in cloud only. You'll be getting a path, right? They'll be giving the path where you have to deploy. So where which repository you have to deploy. So repository name they will give us, right? The folder name, repository name, domain name. That's all. These three things only you have to get.
No, I am not getting it.
See, server is there in cloud only.
Yeah.
So what you are going to do in cloud? It's an Informatica server. It's there in the cloud only. So see, we do not know where the server will be placed, right? So you'll be having a deployment tool. Okay, you'll be having a DevOps tool. Separate tool will be there. Again, I'm saying it's a depends on the project. We'll be having different framework. Okay, so it might be we might be using Jenkins or some deployment tools will be there. Okay, by that tool we'll be deploying it. We are using Airflow as a scheduler. We in our project, entire project, they have created one deployment tool called Data ALM. Okay, so in that tool, just we will go to this one URL. You have to go to one URL. So it will ask where you want to deploy it. So just select the QA. So QA, then they will ask which component you want to deploy. Informatica. Then it will, so if you are selecting next one is Informatica, then it will give you option. Okay, what is your target server? Server you choose. What is the repository? What is the folder? That's all. Okay. Once you have selected, it will ask you to add the component. You have to add informatica.xml file. Clear. So go to repository manager. Here you have to export the XML file. So it's a manual process and all, now it's over. Okay. So most of the project, they are going for automated process, no manual deployment and all. So you'll go here. Manual deployment means, see, if I'm giving the component as a file, you'll be going to the repository, you'll be connecting to the repository, and you'll be importing the object. This is manual process. So a lot of mistake we will do. We'll be doing a lot of mistake here. They will not allow. Okay, our real-time project, they will not allow. A lot of components will be deployed every time, right? We are doing a lot of mistake. Then this particular system will not have stability. Okay, that's what they will have a deployment tool. So that tool you have to choose the options. It will go and deploy. So you'll be choosing the repository as here rep. Folder name is this is the folder, and server name they will be giving you the server name. So EDW server or some EDW underscore QA, EDW underscore dev, all the server name. Then say for an example, I want to deploy this Java transformation. Export as XML file. Export as XML file. I'll be going to the my documents. See here, I have created one folder, right? So as a developer, we have to, first of all, we have to create a deployment. See XML file, we have created it. Okay, if you look at here, there is two components are there. One is XML SQL file, other one is XML. So this is the folder. Okay, you copy this folder, go to this particular, I told, right? Deployment tool will be there online. Okay, as you said, it's a cloud also. Some tools will be there. You know Jenkins? So yeah, Jenkins is a deployment tool. Okay, so might be they might be using it. Jenkins as a tool. So this tool, what it will do, so it is a continuous delivery. So anytime you can deploy the code into a production. Okay, so in this is what the continuous deployment. In this tool, you'll be telling that, okay, so which one I have to see here? Code is constructed, unit testing, system testing, delivery to a staging, that is what your UAT, then user acceptance test, deploy to production. So this is what it will be, the continuous integration. Okay, continuous deployment. Jenkins is the tool. You'll be using that login to the tool, and then you'll be mentioning your target server and mentioning this particular path. It will create one deployment number, build number. It will give you one build number. Okay, it will create one build and then it will give you the build number. So this build number, you have to give it to the QA team, saying that I have created a build. You can deploy it into a server and then start testing it. They will deploy it their own server. Okay, QA server. So it will be like, this is repository. Here we have only one repository, but in our real time, we might be having different repositories for like a QA, production, UAT, all this environment will be having different repository. They'll be choosing this is not manual process, automated process. Okay. So if it is manual process, very small companies, they will use manual process. They will go and you'll be giving that export file. They will be go to the particular repository. They'll be doing manual import. Okay, manual import, but not, this is not allowed in the real-time project and all. Okay, so lot of the standard project team and all, they will not allow this one. So that's what you'll be creating the deployment. Okay, build a number, you have to give them, they will deploy it. Once they have given the sign off, so you'll be saying, for example, they have raised a defect. You are deploying only Informatica component. So previously Informatica version 1, now it is version 2. It will be in the build, same build, it will create one more build. This is a new version. So all the new version, it will take, and all the latest version, it will be deployed into a UAT. That's what Jenkins will take care. You have to take all the build number correctly, previous build number and current build number. Then it will generate one new build number. That build number you have to give them. Okay, so it depends on the project. This process might be slightly changing. Okay, but a lot of project nowadays they are using Jenkins only for their deployment. Clear? See,
So
everything
when
will
you
be there in
have
the cloud only. Everything will be there in the cloud only. The softwares and everything will be there in the cloud only, not in our machine. Somewhere it will be there. You have to log in with your user ID and password. So like this, and then you have to connect it.
for on-premise servers also, is it going to be the
on-premise servers,
Jenkins?
on-premises servers also the same process. That's what I told. It depends on the project. Okay.
Okay.
So they might be using Jenkins or Nexus, Nolio, different tools. They might be using it, or they might be using manual deployment also. Some project team will be creating the folder, and this folder they are sending it to a mail to a. So these are all 5 years, 6 years before, not now. Then they will deploy into their server. Then they will start testing it. Lot of issues will be there. That's why they have some deployment tool. Okay, some deployment tools will be there. If you go here, Informatica deployment tools, you can tell that Jenkins. That's what we are also using. Okay, it will be connected to a Git repository. You know, right? Git repository, it will maintain the version. So all the latest versions. So version control tool, we might be saying that Git. Jenkins build, it will create. Then it will be deploying into the server. Okay, whatever the server you want to have. So it's a AWS server or Informatica server or anything. Okay, this is what it will go. So this is Angular deployment using Jenkins. The same way Informatica also. So anything. So why they are going for a common tool, right? See, if a lot of application team will be there, like as here mentioned, Angular, Informatica, database, some front-end tools will be there. So all this, they will follow the same tool, same method. They will have the repository for Git. So all your production code will be available in this Git only. So through Jenkins, you are deploying it. All the version will be maintained in the Git. And then server, it will get deployed. Okay, the component. This is what the deployment you have to follow. So it's again, I'm telling it's a slightly differ from project to project. Okay, framework might be different. So even if it is on-premises server or a cloud server, this is the one. Cloud server, we cannot know that we may not knowing that server where the server is present, but on-premises server, we know the server details, right? But anything, so you are not going to see the server. Somewhere it will be there, right? So that's what. So you take one process, you can explain them. Okay. Are you clear now?
Yeah.
So this is, if you are going for a project, they will give you a knowledge transition. Okay, they will give you a knowledge transition on this only. Informatica, they will not give you any knowledge transition. They will give knowledge transition on the deployment process and everything. So if they are asking in interview, how will you deploy your code? So this is the way you have to explain them. If you are going for a new project, so definitely they will have different process. They are not all. So even I have worked in multiple projects. We are not using the same model in another project. So deployment, we are using different method only. Same way, you might be having different tools in your project. So others, any other deployment method you are using instead of Jenkins in your project, how you are deploying the code? So not Informatica, any other code. How will you deploying your code into production? Same way or it's different?
Yes, Chandra, using Jenkins only.
Jenkins only, right?
Yeah.
So you are creating a change number and then all the change number, you have to make it. You will be creating a build, correct?
Yeah, we will place the files in Bitbucket,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have a team. They will take care of the deployment process.
Okay, that's what. It depends on the project team. Okay, so some teams sometimes see in our real-time environment, we do not have any UAT and QA or any testing team. As a developer, since we are working on complete agile, as a developer, we have to test it, all the peer review, we have to test unit testing and everything. It is our responsibility to deploy the code into production, and you have to run the dry run. We have to take care any production failure. So L1 support team is there. So they will acknowledge it. If any environment issue, restart mechanism, they will do it. But they will not check any code issues, data issues and all. So we have to take care. That's what end-to-end process we will own. So that is what the deployment we will follow. Okay, the same way. So as I have mentioned, you create this folder, whatever the component we want to deploy. You create this folder, and this folder. So as I told, you have to go to www. The particular company's site. Then it will ask which target environment, target server, target folder you have to deploy. Everything you have to deploy it. Click on submit. It will go for sign off for our team sign off, submit sign off, and then it will go for the infrastructure team sign off. Once they have given signed off, it will be go to the Git commits and everything. We have to merge and commit. Then it will go to the deployment. Okay, it will automatically deploy. It will give you the log. In the log, you can see how many components has been deployed successfully, whether all the components has been successfully deployed. That's what you have to see. Okay, this is what deployment process will be there. So if you are going for any interview, this is what you have to explain them. This is the method we are following it by using Jenkins. Any other deployment you are using, deployment process, any other tool you are using? Previously, we were using Jenkins. Now we are using Data ALM. So you know the Airflow, right? For AWS, we have Apache Airflow and all. So this tool only we are backend we are using. We have created see here, data ALM, right? So this is what Airflow we have. So this tool is a scheduler tool actually. It is used for deployment also. Okay, in our real time we are using that Apache Airflow. Okay. Any other deployment group you are using? Others? If everything is new to you, please explain this one to an interviewer. How will you deploy your code? Then your current project, they will give you the KT. Okay, don't worry. It's depends on, see, as Rehan mentioned. So in their project, they are using some different method, right? In our project, we are using different method, but the tool is Jenkins only. But different framework we will follow. That information, they will give you the KT. Don't get confused a lot of things here. Just know that how to deploy the code into production. What are the different environments will be there. In real time, if you are going for a project, they will give you the KT. Even if I am going to the new project, so definitely this deployment process will be changing. So according to the project, I have to know it. But this is what you can explain. This is what my current deployment process.
So Chandra, I have earlier used deployment group migration. So is that not in use currently?
Yeah, it will be used. So that's what, it's a different project based on the budgeting and everything they will go for. So deployment group also they will use. Okay. So nowadays previous batches also one of the student was telling that deployment group they will create and then deploy it. It's a that's what I told. It's a depends on the company. It depends on the project. Okay, how they are deploying it. That's different. See, sometimes we will not deploy it. We will give them the code. They will deploy it. We will raise one RITM. Okay, so request IT. Then they will deploy it. It depends on the project. Okay, so this is what exporting the XML file from the repository. See, always export the XML file from repository manager. Don't do that on the designer or workflow manager. If you are doing designer, right? So what will be exported? You'll be exporting only, see here, you'll be exporting only one component, only source, target, and mapping component. You will not export all the components. Okay, source, target, mapping only will be exporting it. So talent is like a ETL tool. Same like our Informatica. Talent is like open source. There is no license for the talent tool. It's an open source ETL tool. Same like Informatica. So how the Informatica is doing that ETL. Same way talent also. It's an open source ETL tool. Some small companies and all, they will use talent for their ETL process. But big companies, they will use only Informatica. Okay, data volume will be very high. This tool will be performing very well. That's why they will use this one. Companies based on the budget. Okay, so I will go for talent itself. Why I have to spend more money on Informatica? Then they will go for a talent. Okay. Okay. So now this is what the deployment we will do in our real-time project. Okay, we do have check-in, check-out. So what is the check-in, check-out, right? Check-in, check-out process. I hope you are clear on the deployment. You can tell them this is what the process we are following. See, if you are using your Informatica server or on-premises or cloud, so we are not going to do anything on the server side. The component only we are going to deploy into a repository. Okay, Informatica admin team, if you are Informatica admin team, then you have to bother about where the server is present, how the server migration and everything. As a developer, no need to bother about. So what is that check-in, check-out? So in multi-user environment, in our system, only Informatica client will be installed, right? Only Informatica client will be installed. So normally, if you are going to work on a multi-user environment, you are one of the developer. So you'll be having a peer developer site. A lot of developers will be available. Say for an example, your lead is saying that, okay, you do one changes in this particular rank transformation, existing mapping, you do some changes. Already we have column name is column data type is this one. Okay, you change the data type from number to varchar and increase the number, something they are telling. These are changes. So normally what we have to do, we have to export the XML file from production, import it into a dev. So first option, okay, export from production and import it to the development environment. Always, if you are changing any code, export from production and development environment, you have to start. Don't start it as it is from the development. Why? Because in development environment, anyone can change the code. It will not be same as what production is running. So always you have to take the current code from production and you have to import it to a development server. Then you have to start working on it. Okay. So say for an example, I'm working on this particular rank transformation, and also same time, so in your system also there will be a rank transformation, right? Why? Because it's a centralized repository only. In your system also the same folder will be available. If you are also changing, then which one will be taken? See, if you are not, I'm not telling you that this is what changes I'm doing it. You are also not telling me that you are going to change the same mapping. So what will happen? We both will change and the wrong code will be deployed into a production, right? So any one of the code, any one code will be deployed into production. So normally we should not do it. So that's what, this is our local, right? Local. Whenever we are connecting to a repository, so from this is the centralized repository. Okay, this is what the centralized repository. So from the centralized repository, we have to check out the object. Okay, so we have to check out the object. Check out means we are checking out into our user repository. This is what user repository. This is our centralized repository. Okay. So your user repository, you have to check out the component, checking out. So if you have checked out, then one green color tick mark will be available in your mapping or source or target or mapping or any component. You can click on the checkout. Say for an example, M underscore rank underscore transformation. This is one mapping. See, if it has been checked out by the user, one of the user, by myself, same time you cannot do any changes on this particular mapping. Okay, it will be getting write intent log. So it will be on the logged state. The component will be on logged state. So no one can change that. Okay, unless you are going to check in again. So you are doing the checked out, one green color mark will be there. Then you are changing it. While you are changing it, others can have only read access. That too, whatever the changes you have done, it will not be reflected on the centralized repository. For others, it will not be reflected. So once you are, so you have done with your changes, you are going to check in. This is normal process. So anything like a Java or Python code or anything, same process we will follow. You are checking in. This is called check-in, right? So once you have checked in, then this green color mark will go off. So here you'll be having this M underscore rank underscore transformation. Now they can able to see whatever the changes you have done, and also they can able to check out in their repository. They can do the changes. So this is what check out and check-in process. So if you look at here in my repository, so everything has been checked out, right? So everything has been checked out. So if I want to check in, right click, go to version, you can do the check-in. it will ask something like update. So you can click on OK. So now the green color mark has removed, right? That means it has been checked in. See, after checked in, you cannot change anything here. All the options will be disabled one. You cannot change anything. Look at here. Can I change now? No, after checked in, it will be read only state. This is what you can see here. After checked in, so there is, you cannot do any changes here. Okay. So again, if you want to change it, again, you have to do the version, go for checkout. Then you have to give the options. Okay. So modifications, rank, update, something like we are giving the checkout options. Apply here. Now you'll be having the mark. Then I'm changing it. So just I'm changing top number 10, and then here I'm giving bottom. Some changes I have done this, control yes. So now I'm going to do the check-in again. Check-in again. Okay, so check-in again. This is what it has been checked in. So I want to compare what was there previously, now what is there. You have to check it. You have to go with versioning, view history. You can see how many times the component has been checked in and who has checked out, checked in, check out. See here, username is administrator. So host name. So when what is the folder name, when it has been checked in, check out. So everything will be there. This is the version of the mapping. This is what it will be maintained in the repository. Okay, latest version. So all the versions will be maintained. Why? Because if I want to compare, so this one with the previous version, then I can go for comparison. Comparison with previous version. Okay. So compare it previous version. It will compare it and then tell you, so what is the changes you have done it. See, this is what the changes you have done it. Okay. Previous version, current version, it will compare it, but you cannot change it anything. You are saying that you haven't done any changes. So I can see by using this comparison, this is what the changes you have done it. So username will be captured here. Whatever the changes you are doing, see all this will be captured in the username. Okay. Say for an example, I want to know, see here, again, I'm going to check out. I'm doing some changes. Say for an example, rank on instead of salary, I'm going for rank on other column. Okay, I did it like this. Some other column, I'm doing that. Some changes I have done it. Control yes, save. Is it possible to revert? See, whatever the changes I have done it, so wrongly I have done it. Is it possible to revert? Control yes, sorry, control Z is possible. No, right? So what I can do, so unless you are going to do a check-in, right click, you can go for undo checkout. See, before undo checkout, if you see here, rank on department ID, right? Right click, go to versioning, undo checkout, then undo checked out removes the checked out version of the selected object permanently. So you can see here, this is checked in object. Then you can see previously whatever we are seeing. So that option only be available. This is called undo checkout. Okay, if you're going for a new project, in the project, you want to do some changes on this normalizer. If you want to change in a rank, you can do it. Why? Because it is not in checked in state, sorry, checked out state. But normalizer is in checked out state. Somebody has checked out. You want to find out who has checked out. Right click, okay, go to versioning. Okay, so you can choose this. You can go for versioning. You can go for find checkouts. So you want to know, so you will be having multiple developers, right? So a lot of developers will be there. You have to find out who has checked out this object. You have to tell them that you have to check in, then only I can do modifications. So selected folder only, current user only, all users, I have to check it, and it will tell you in the folder. So whatever the object has been checked out, it will give you all the username here. By using the username, you can find who has checked out the object. Then you can ask them to check in. Then only you can do the modifications. So this is what check-in, check-out, all the concept. So how to enable this check-in, check-out in our environment, in our Informatica. So real time always will be enabled, but now in our system, how to enable it? Go to Informatica 10.2.0. You can see the admin console. Double click on it. Admin console will be opened. In the admin console, so go to admin console. You can log in with your admin credentials. In real time, we cannot do it. It's always it will be enabled. So here, how to do it? That's what I want to tell you. Administrator. Then go to this username and password, login. It will be a bit slow. But before coming in, do you have any questions on the check-in, check-out?
Chandra, you said we need to export it from productions, right?
Yeah.
So how we need to do that?
Okay. So here we have the prod environment. Okay. Normally this is what we have the prod, and we have the dev environment. So always we have to take the production code only. Don't do any development code if you want to change it. So how will you take? So you'll be having some tool. Okay, some tool will be there. So if you are in your project, if they are manually doing it, go to repository. If you have production environment read access, but in our current project and all, we do not have any read access. Okay, but in our previous project, we used to have read access for the production environment. So in our current project, we do not have production repository. Also, we cannot connect it. That's what the security they have. Our previous project, what we will do, we'll go to the repository manager. We'll go to the workflows. Just export the object from here. Okay, export it. XML file. Then import to the development. Say for an example, I have exported Java transformation from 8.15. I want to deploy it into a development environment here. Okay, you assume that I have already exported. I want to import it. So go to repository, click on import. Sorry, not metadata. So you have to go to the repository, import object, click on browse. You can go to the particular XML file. You assume that this is what the target we have exported. You can click on open, go to next. So you want to deploy all the code from prod to dev? Yes, add all. Go to next. It will ask what is a destination folder. I am choosing destination folder as some 8 AM IST. You assume that, okay, 8 AM IST. Something, whatever the folder you want, you can go to. So while deploying itself, you want to check in or checked out. So check out also, it's fine. Can go to next, next. So we are getting some conflict here. So what is this conflict? See, this Java transformation, the mapping is already available in this folder, destination folder. So this workflow name is not available. That's what it has been copied. So for an example here, you have one file. Okay, same file if I want to copy and paste it here, normally it will not paste it here, right? It will paste it with a different name, correct? Different name. It will ask you want to do the Word document also. You are deploying it from this folder to this folder. Something like it will ask, do you want to replace or you want to maintain a new copy, right? So if there is no file, then it will automatically copy it. But already the mapping name is there. That's what you are getting. It's unresolved. So what you have to do? From production to dev, you have to replace the object. Replace. What the replace will do? It will replace from here to here. Okay, this is what your prod. So from prod to development, the component will be replaced. This is source, this is target. Okay, replace option you have to choose. Here we are choosing replaced. Copied is nothing but the component is not available. The component name is not available, it will be copied. But replace means it will be replaced. Then go to next. Again, we are getting some conflict, right? Target also is there. So target and source also there. You want to replace everything? Yes. Replace everything. Reuse means you are reusing the target definitions. Look at here, apply this resolution to all conflict, and all conflict will be replaced. So this is called replace and reuse. So remember this is also one of the project environment what we will do normally. Okay, click on next here, go to close, and then import it. It will be imported. You can see the log. You can see the log. So you have to check the log whether all the component has been imported. So this is what normally we used to have in our previous environment. So now the export option, since we do not have production environment access, we used to have the data ALM tool I told, right? Deployment tool. In the deployment tool itself, we have an option called Informatica export. Okay, Informatica export. You have to go there. Okay, if this is a tool, something called one option will be there, Informatica export. You got to go there. So you have to give repository name, folder name, workflow name. If you are giving all the three, it will give you your email ID you have to give. It will export it and then it will send XML file to your mail ID. You have to download from there. You have to deploy it into the development environment. Clear?
Yes, Chandra.
So this is what normally we will do. Okay. So if you look at here, the check-in, check-out option where it will be available. So this is what the admin console, right? You can go to services and notes. So it will be very slow. It is taking this much time. Okay, but the deployment, are you clear? Deployment and check-in, check-out concept. What is check-in, check-out? All this. Are you clear? They will ask in interview, definitely, these options. So again, we are going to see some how to explain this in our real-time project. So tomorrow we'll see that some real-time project, how to explain that architecture and everything that I will tell you. So you can explain them the same project. Still it is creating. Okay, any other doubt? Any other doubt you have? Any other doubt?
Yeah, hi sir. I didn't clear that one. Uncorrect lookup.
Unconnected?
Yesterday I shared the screen. Just I got there.
Sorry, I'm not getting yesterday.
Yeah, just I pin in words like regarding I got them in error in at mapping level for unconnected lookup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You want to share your screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
I want to show you that how to enable this. Whether I have already told you that how to enable this version control? No. Whether I have already told you how to enable the version control?
No, Chandra.
Okay, 1 minute. I'm not sure why it is taking this much time. Okay, meanwhile, you can share your screen. I'm stopping my screen. Yeah. Yes, Ravindra, go ahead.
Yeah, this one.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Go to right hand side.
this one.
Okay, you are doing only location ID, department name. Okay.
So these are the uncomfortable.
Okay. Go to that session. What is the error you are getting first of all? Okay, right click, go to run properties, get run properties. Left hand side, you close that window. You go to task details alone. Task details alone. No, task details alone. The failure information, you close it. Above failure information, you just click on the arrow mark.
Okay.
Go. See here, it's showing like cannot identify the unique relational connection. Yesterday I told, right, check the connections.
Yeah.
Have you checked that lookup connection? Double click. So I told if the Informatica is not creating the session log, that's a connection issue. Go to lookup.
Yeah. Lookup also. Yeah.
It's showing like source, $source, right?
Okay.
You change it to source. $source is nothing but parameterized connection. Go to lookup. Yeah. See, kindly follow my entire video. So what I am doing it, just to do it, okay? Then only you will get control, yes.
Yeah, got it.
Now you check whether the data has been loaded correctly. Source and target statistics you go for. No. The log itself, source and target statistics you go for.
Yeah. Okay.
Below. Not that one.
This one.
The above one only, source and target statistics. So below you are having the source and target statistics, right? So 107 record has been loaded, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what you have to check on the data and then you have to do all the changes.
Yeah. Sure.
You remember yesterday I told that check the lookup connection.
Yeah. But it seems that $source was the actual source. I feel like.
Yeah, I have explained that also. In our class, I have explained.
Okay.
So $source we should not give. $source means it's a parameterized connection.
Yeah.
Are you using any parameter file for this?
No, we don't.
Yeah, if it is using, then give the $source. What is $source? You have to define over there. Okay.
Okay.
But since we are not using parameter file, you have to give the hard-coded value. That connection name you have to give.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And one more note I have actually regarding update strategy. So in that video, we can use router transformation before the target, two targets. Okay. One is insert and another one is update one.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, it is possible to insert and update in a single target at a time.
Yeah, actually we are doing it in the single target only.
In real time.
2 instance we are using. That's all.
Okay.
See, 2 instance we are using.
Okay.
Single target only. The table name is single target only. This is also I have already explained in our session itself.
Okay.
See, just we are copying that instance. The name into two instances we are copying it. The target table is single.
Okay.
So as you have mentioned, can we use only single instance? Yes, we can use.
Okay.
We can use only single update strategy. In the update strategy, we have to write if logic, IIF. If this flag equal to true, then go and do DD insert, comma DD update.
Okay. Yeah, got
That's
it.
what. This is also I have explained.
Okay.
See, kindly watch our session completely, then only you'll be getting it.
Sure.
So if you are taking 1 hour session, you spend at least 1 hour to watch it.
Sure.
So I have already explained this very clearly that you can use it, no issues.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Others, do you have any questions? Okay. So now I will tell you how to enable this version control. Go to services and nodes. You can see this repository service. So initially the repository service will be in exclusive mode. You remember? Normally the repository service in exclusive mode. We used to change this exclusive mode to normal mode. Then only integration service you can able to create it. So make it like exclusive mode itself. In exclusive mode, you can enable the version control. It's taking time, some time. In the repository, you'll be having operating mode. Change the operating mode into normal mode, sorry, exclusive mode. Now it's in normal mode. You have to change it to exclusive mode. In the exclusive mode, you'll be having one option called version control. Enable the version control, save it, again change the repository into normal mode. Okay, so look at here, operating mode is normal mode, right? You can click on this edit repository. Here you have to change it to exclusive mode. If you are enabling exclusive mode, then you will be having the version control will be enabled. So click on OK, it will be there exclusive mode. Then enable it, your version control. Then click on OK, then start the service and everything will be available. Then again, you have to change it to normal mode only. Clear? This is what you can enable version control in your Informatica. Clear? So this is what we have seen today. Rest of the topic we will continue tomorrow. So tomorrow we might be seeing that the project level explanations. So now we have completed the deployment process and check-in, check-out, and some of the workflow level properties. So tomorrow we will continue with this rest of the topic. So thank you all. I will send you the document as well as the notes. So please go through it. Okay. Thank you all. Then we'll meet tomorrow. Same time. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.